Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, subscribe to the channel. You got to click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. You can find me on Twitter, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me even on Instagram and TradingView. It is one word, it's Crypto Bull God. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. It's been a pretty quiet week. Not super surprising. We've had some altcoins that have had some moves here that we're going to take a look at. There's also going to be plenty of time. You can see that I'm not, by the way, sporting my black shirt today. So I got a brand new Bitcoin shirt here. So I got a few new Bitcoin t-shirts. But um, anyway, I'm going to have plenty of time for Q&A today. So TA Q&A. So any crypto projects that you guys would like me to take a look at, I'm going to be taking a look at my phone here in the chat to see what you'd like me to chart. And I would be more than happy to take a look at those charts. Definitely going to allot enough time for that. I have a few charts that I'm going to go over with you guys. Nothing super crazy going on in the markets. Like I said, pretty quiet week, pretty quiet day for the most part. Definitely want to see prices picking up here over the course of the next week or two. In order to leave me feeling convicted that we're still going to see some euphoria coming in towards the end of the year this year. Really need prices to start picking up, like I said, over the course of the next week or two. So if I am correct in my assertion about what I'm anticipating over the course of the next 5 to 6 months here, which is my primary hypothesis, we're really gonna need to see prices start to pick up in the next week or two. And as you recall, one of the things I had tweeted out today, just to kind of level set the conversation, because again, one of the things that I reiterate on this channel is that people have a tendency, especially during long periods of time under which a correction or consolidation is taking place, really weeds out the retail investors. And people also have a tendency to forget just how quickly the market can move, that once we start moving, things really are under a very condensed time period in which things appreciated value. Just tweeted this out today. I said in just over 5 months, Bitcoin went from 13.2K to 64.9K, which was basically a 5X. So query, why can't Bitcoin go from 30K to 125K in 5 months, which is just over a 4X? So again, just the whole point of me tweeting this out was to put it out there into people's minds that as a refresher for people that are really having a hard time recalling, since we've had this massive period of correction and consolidation in the market. People really forget just how quickly the market can run, like we did in 20 and 21. So again, though, if I am correct in my main hypothesis here, July, like I said, I'm anticipating it being a very big month. So we'll have to see how this next week or two plays out in the charts. With that being said, wanted to get into a few charts here. I'll get this off. You can see Bitcoin's just up over 1% today. I mean, main thing, this is the 12-hour chart. Main thing here, price is chopping around here between 31 and 20, roughly the mid to high 29s. Nothing here has changed since yesterday. There's really nothing new to report. Again, if you're looking for an area that price could come down to, we could wick below it, but in terms of maintaining a relative area of support, I would follow the increasing 200 simple moving average as your main area of support here. On the chart, we're sitting at 28,200. Could we see something where price comes up here and quick deviates and then comes back up? Absolutely. We don't need to do that, though. Not anticipating price to come down here and kind of hang out here for a long period of time, because if that were to happen, then, that would, if we're hanging out, let me put it to you this way. If we're hanging out at 29,000, 30,000 by the end of the month of July, I find it much more unlikely that we're going to have some sort of parabolic nature by, say, November or even December of this year. Really need to see price action come in bullish this month. So nothing has changed. Nothing has changed on Bitcoin. Wanted to take a look at a few charts. You can see 4 of them are up on my screen that I want to talk about. We're going to talk about Quant. We're going to talk about Solana, or Solano. I think Jim Cramer called it. We're also going to take a look at Ocean Protocol and Decentraland Mana. And then I'm going to look for everyone in the live chat. I know I'm live chatting a little earlier in the day on Friday like I typically do, but I'm going to look for anyone in the live chat to drop me any charts that you'd like me to take a look at while we're doing this live beyond these 4 charts. So with that being said, let's take a look at Quant. Now, the thing I want to get into before I discuss this general price direction that I've illustrated here, what I'm seeing on Quant, I'm seeing a very long period of consolidation. Quant was one of these ones that sort of front ran the market, okay? As the rest of the market was correcting in the fall, winter of 2022, you can see we ran up from our bottom at about $40 all the way to over $220, $230. So we basically pulled just about a 6x from bottom. But if you got in anywhere around here about $50 and ran this thing up over 200, you made easily over a 4x in your trade or investment. Okay. Really, what's been going on now, and I've seen a lot of people getting frustrated with the price, and that is so typical. I kind of chuckle to myself when I see that. I'm not laughing at anyone in particular. I'm just laughing at the market psychology. This is the price action that is intended to weed people out. Guys, you have to understand that investing and trading, whatever you're looking at, however you want to phrase what it is that you're doing, it's not intended to be easy, okay? If investing and trading was easy, all of us would be millionaires and we wouldn't be working a 9-to-5 job. I know I'll use myself as an example. If I was as successful as I know I could have been and as I could have been years ago, I wouldn't be working right now. I mean, that's just the truth of it. But the reality is the market has a way to test your grit and your emotions and your education, okay? And it's up to you to have a definitive plan in place. And unless that plan, that unemotional, logical, educated view changes, there's anything in the charts that changes, you stick the course. Right now, Quant is consolidating. And let me tell you why I feel very, very, very bullish on this chart, okay? I actually made a video mid to late last year, on Quant. You can check that out on my YouTube channel, and spoke to the fact that I see Quant going over $1,000 more than likely, in my opinion. I saw a correction coming in, and in that video, I said that I saw $100 first before $1,000, which is exactly what we got. We came down here all the way down to $95. So we did exactly in that video as I had stated. I appreciate everyone new tuning in. I would appreciate a thumbs up and the support. Drop me a comment. Let me know whatever you'd like me to chart. We're doing a live TA Q&A today for most of the segment. The reason I'm so bullish on Quant, okay, is 2 reasons. And let me clearly define this for you. First off, as the rest of the market was bottoming in this area, okay, one of the things that I had identified for you guys yesterday is there's 3 categories of alts. There are the alts that created new. There are the alts that did this. They created a higher low here. There are alts that created a double bottom, okay? And there are also the alts that did this. They came all the way down here, and they created a lower low, okay? This is your strongest, this is your second strongest, and this is your third strongest, okay? In terms of just being unemotional and logical about setting higher lows and lower lows and double bottoms. Okay, that's just being logical about it. In this case, this low up here at 95 is significantly higher than $41. That is point number 1. Point number 2 on why I am so bullish on Quant is because this movement here in terms of an Elliott wave structure, this is just our wave 1 movement. Wave 3, okay, in an Elliott wave structure in general, you have a wave, an impulse wave up, that's your wave 1, you have a corrective wave 2, another impulse wave 3, which typically is the largest wave, it can't be the shortest wave, You have a corrective wave 4, and then a wave 5, which actually sometimes can be as significant as your wave 3 in some cases. Okay, but regardless, wave 3s generally are the most epic of waves, and so that's the wave movement that we're waiting for here, in my opinion, as crypto is set to top late this year, early next year. Okay. Now, within each of those impulse waves up, there's actually 5 impulse waves within there. And so, what I've sketched out here, this is our wave 1 movement within a broader 3 wave movement, or 3 wave movement we're waiting for. What you're going to see here is you're going to have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, a wave 5, right? And so the way I've drawn this is actually very realistic in my opinion. If we kind of measure out, and I'll show you how I did this, from the bottom of here to the top of here, trend-based fib extension to the bottom of here, and we take a look at where a 3.618 fib extension is, you can see it puts us right shy of $800. That's where I have this drawn, somewhere in the mid to upper $700 range. I think that's very reasonable. If we then take a look at what a Fibonacci retracement would be, okay, from the top to the bottom here, you can see hitting just below this 0.5, which is what we did back here. That would bring us right back down to 275, under 275. And then if we draw the final wave movement up in the grand scheme of things, and again, how I got to this was from the bottom of here to the top of here to the bottom of here. You can see right between, it depends how bullish you are on it, anything between a 1.618, which would be at 700, to a 1100, to a 1500, all the way up to 2300. Really, I think, in my opinion, I want to see where this next impulse, this third wave within the broader 3 wave movement takes us. But I could see between 1500 and 2300. I think if you wanted to be a little bit more conservative, you could say maybe between 1100 and 1500. But we'll have to see again where this initial third impulse within the broader 3 wave movement comes in. But I certainly could see prices maybe let's talk early next year, maybe even mid next year, depending when Bitcoin tops, getting up in that mid $1,000 range. So Quant is looking very bullish to me. Quant is looking very, very bullish and is consolidating. Solana, got to give it up finally for Solana breaking out of this downward resistance, guys. We've been talking about this forever, okay? This is something that, we've hit on this channel multiple times. Look what we've finally done. I mean, we've finally cleared this resistance. Not surprisingly, as we've cleared it, we've back tested it. This is on a weekly, by the way. We've back tested the descending resistance. Now, for further confirmation that we're going to see continued movement to the upside, I don't want to fall below this area here. So I really don't, and $20 is a psychological level, but for me personally, I really don't want to see on a closing weekly basis. I really don't want to see prices going much below $18, okay, on a closing weekly basis. It doesn't mean if you wake up tomorrow or you look at prices next week and you see Solana 18, it's very bearish. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is on a closing weekly candle basis. Okay. So if we are to see continued movement to the upside, that would occur, and also we're going to start smashing through $26 and $36. We really want to start to see some further upside here. Some further upside. And again, it's all just about building the higher highs and higher lows, okay? And again, speaking of strength of altcoins, I don't really care what your fundamental view is. We're here to talk about the charts, and that's it. Again, what do we have present in this chart? We have higher lows here. So to me, when you evaluate these altcoins in terms of their corrective structure, this is one of the more bullish ones. I'm expecting, and to me, this is a beautiful chart. Beautiful chart. Solana has the potential to really blow people away in the coming 6 to 12 months here. I wouldn't say 12 months. I don't expect we're going to top in July. I would say, anywhere between these next 5 to 10 months here. Okay, Solana really has the opportunity to surprise a lot of people and blow well past its prior all-time high up here Where was this thing sitting? Up here towards 266. I think it's going to blow well past that. Okay. So market structure here is looking phenomenal. Ocean Protocol, definitely wanted to check this out today. You can see we're having some nice strong movements in Ocean Protocol. We're up over 16% today. Very good to see. This is one I almost established a position in for two reasons. One, it's part of the crypto AI narrative. And two, I love the market structure behind this chart. The only reason I didn't choose to establish a position in this is because one of the things that I have signaled to everyone who's tuned into the channel is that I already feel in some senses like I may be over diversified. So I don't want to accumulate any more positions in any other coins. I kind of want to stick with, the two handfuls of projects that I'm in right now. And if I'm going to increase my cryptocurrency position, which I plan to do over the course of the next 6 months, certainly, I'm just going to accumulate more of those coins that I hold, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's an Ethereum or the Holy Crypto Trinity or any of the other tokens I've mentioned that I'm holding, Alchemy Pay, Synapse Protocol, whatever it is, DigiByte I've mentioned recently. Those are the projects that I'm looking to increase my position in. But if you're holding Ocean Protocol, very good to see that once again, price is coming up to this descending resistance here. Now, the fact that we've now hit this essentially on 4 separate occasions recently, I am strongly leaning towards this descending resistance on Ocean Protocol to break very shortly. I would be surprised if the descending resistance that's here doesn't break at some point in July or latest August. Okay, sometime between July and August, I would anticipate this descending resistance to break. Okay, get a movement up, maybe again back test. If you missed the break up and you're waiting for some confirmation to come in here that we're getting some bullish price action, you can always wait for a bullish retest of the descending resistance right around that area. Okay, and then just continued movements up. Okay, that is what I'm anticipating on Ocean Protocol, but it's looking very bullish, and this is on the weekly here. If we go to the price indicators that I commonly look at, which are the MACD RSI and stochastic RSI, two that I would focus on right now. RSI looks good, by the way, at 55, but two what I would focus on. MACD looks like it may want to start crossing up after this week. Stochastic RSI looks great. It's at 35 over 26, so we're above that 20 trigger line. And we also have a bullish cross, the 35 over the 26. One of the things you will notice if you're newer to the channel and you're following along with the technical analysis I'm doing, I really try to, in many senses, dummy things down and put things in layman's terms. I really try to keep things stupid simple on this chart. I try to keep things stupid simple on this channel. One of the things that bothers me when I evaluate other channels, because I do keep tabs, I watch many different channels, and most of the time that I spend watching YouTube channels, they're the channels that I value. They're the channels that I go to on a very frequent basis. But sometimes I also go to YouTube channels that I may not regularly watch, or I may not really crazy about the content creator, but I at least want to see what sort of messaging is being put out there by others. One of the things I can't stand is when you get technicians out there on Twitter or on YouTube, and they create charts that are too cluttered and too complex, and people really can't follow along with what you're saying. They really can't, and they're really creating a lot more distraction within the chart and overcomplicating things when they don't need to. Perhaps it's to make themselves appear more intelligent than they are. I don't know. Or they're just overcomplicating it and they don't even realize it. But I think in many cases when you're evaluating a chart, it serves you best to just keep things stupid simple. Sure, I could put 20 indicators on here and we could look at 20 different moving averages, and why not just keep things stupid simple though? That's my philosophy at my job, and that's my philosophy doing this. So hope you appreciate it. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Wanted to take a look at the Central Land Mana. Um, Again, one of the things that people forget, and I get it and I understand it, and I just want to revisit this really quick, and we're going to go to the current times here. This is back in 2018, and you can see here for a very long time after the Central Land had topped all the way up here at, looks like 29 cents, okay? For guys, look at this period of time. For 931 days. 931 days. That's over 2.5 years. Okay? This is the type of market action we had, just general downtrend. And this weeds everyone out. This project's dead. Like, no one wants to get into mana. Okay? But look what shortly follows. Okay? Now, we had 2.5 years of downward action and consolidation. In this short period of time, we went from 4 cents, okay, in 252 days, we went from 4 cents all the way up to $1.65, okay? So we pulled like over a 40x. We pulled more than a 40x in under a year. And again, let's just do one more little check here for purposes of keeping things real. Once we sort of topped out here, again, consolidation for 189 days. And then in in 28 days, so in under 1 month, okay, in under 1 month, we went from 71 cents up to $6.10, so a 9x, okay? This is why it's really important that you know what you're invested in, okay? Or if you're trading, what your risk-reward strategy is. You have a good risk-to-reward strategy, 4-to-1, 3-to-1, whatever it is for you that works best. And you exercise stop-loss limits and all that stuff. But really to remain disciplined and understand what it is that you hold. And unless if something structurally changes within the chart, no matter what the narrative it is, what I have learned, and it's never financial advice, is that narratives can be whatever the narratives are. Gary Gensler can continue to be a fucktard. Like Gary Gensler can be a fucktard till the end of time. But if the chart is bullish, what this channel preaches, okay, all of the charts, is to really focus on the chart and not so much on the talking heads, right? Same thing that I had tweeted out today. Something very similar that I had tweeted out today, and I had tagged a friend in there. I said I'll make this very simple. If you believe Jerome Powell, okay, if you believe the words he's saying, then most likely we will see further rate hikes in 2023. If you believe empirical data, and that's the 70 years of price data we looked at with interest rates, okay, and the fact that we've paused right now, then most likely we will see no further hikes in 2023 and rate cuts next, okay? Again, I was doing just a basic Google search shortly before this live stream, and it seems that the majority of people are saying we're going to get a rate hike this month. I don't see that, okay? Again, could we get a rate hike this month? Absolutely we could. But the data tells us, 70 years of price data, and especially the more recent rate pauses, tell us when the Federal Reserve pauses rates, the next course of action is continuing to keep them paused for some period of time. We took an extensive look at this, after which we will see rate cuts, okay? It also sort of makes sense from a fundamental narrative if you understand a lot of things going on with banks, the assets they hold, debt levels that the United States government has, and the interest rates they're paying on them. If you understand that from a fundamental perspective, and again, that's not the leading reason I feel the way I do, I use the charts, but it sort of also makes sense that it wouldn't make sense to me that they would hike rates. But we will have to see what they will do. Last thing I'll comment on there, and I said this before, is if you actually study history also, and again, base things on empirical data, and I wish I should, I wish I could somehow find some sort of data source that I could put together to formulate a chart on this. But anyway, um, uh, if you go back in time and you listen to the Fed chairman, and in terms of what he has signaled and then what they've done, oftentimes he will say one thing and do another. Keep in mind that the federal chairman and other talking heads, think about this. They're not going to come out and give you. They're not going to tell you exactly what's going on. Okay, they're going to tell you what they need to tell you so that people aren't flustered or nervous about the economy, so that everybody's calm, everyone's chilling, everyone's all right. And I guess one more thing that I would throw your way, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. It befuddles me in terms of when he has come out, the chairman has come out and spoken about inflation. It blows me away, and perhaps there's no stronger signal to someone that he's being disingenuous when he speaks. And the reason I say that is because when he has spoken about inflation, you tell me how many times when he has spoken about inflation has he ever spoken about a main driver behind inflation was the trillions and trillions of dollars that they pumped into the economy to devalue the dollar. That's that was the biggest. I think it's inarguable. Maybe I should say arguably, but I believe inarguably it is the largest driver of inflation that we have seen. There's this thing called velocity of money. It took time for that to show up in the economy. The largest driver, though, behind inflation was the fact that they devalued the dollar. It just takes more dollar bills to purchase the same thing, okay? It takes time for that to materialize. But there were so many dollar bills printed into existence that it flooded the market. And that's never mentioned. He never mentions that. We mentioned the war in Ukraine and supply constraints and all this bullshit. And not that that doesn't contribute to it, but obviously our own actions have contributed to it. But never brings that up. Never brings it up. Anyway, this is why it pays to stay educated, guys. Reading legacy news media lines is the one of the biggest ways to remain average. In my opinion, one of the biggest ways in life to remain mediocre, middle income, average, and to really not know what's going on is to read news article headlines from legacy news outlets. Read the New York Times, read the Wall Street Journal, watch CNBC, watch Fox News, watch CNN. If that's the stuff you guys do, believe me, you are part of the herd, whether you recognize it or not. So I don't watch any of that shit. The only time I ever watch that or read any of that stuff is to understand what the popular news narrative is, but I don't pay any real attention to it. Anyway, the thing also that I wanted to point out in one of the components of the Holy Crypto Trinity is this chart to me looks monumentally bullish. Okay, we have created a higher low here, a higher low, and I am anticipating very, very, very big things for Decentraland Mana in the sandbox. Guys, just from a fundamental narrative perspective, how is the metaverse not going to be a big narrative? Look at the world around us. Do you not think people are going to want to escape reality to go into the metaverse? It's unfortunate. A lot of people use recreational drugs, alcohol, to escape realities, which I would never condone. It's not a good thing. It's why sales of those do so well during a recessionary period, unfortunately. But really think about this for a moment. I mean, just the concept of the metaverse and the idea that people wouldn't want to escape what's going on and go to some sort of virtual reality setting is just too big of a play, in my opinion, that it's not going to be a big narrative. I'm expecting over the course of the next, and this is really more of even a fundamental play over the next decade. I think metaverse, any stocks, any crypto companies associated with the metaverse, like Decentraland Mana and the Sandbox, I think they're going to be very big plays. You guys also know that I hold a chunk of Alethea AI. I created a video on that. I think combining NFTs with this whole metaverse concept, I think that's going to be a big play in my opinion. Yeah, anything surrounding, I mean, there you have an AI play with the metaverse, but anything surrounding the metaverse, in my opinion, there'll be big plays moving forward. Guys, if you appreciate the content, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Either I've live streamed at the wrong time during the day and the audience is super duper duper low, but I haven't seen a single comment. And I don't see a lot of people tuning in today. I know it's pretty stagnant, but if there is anyone there who would like me to chart anything, I have the time. That was the point of today's live stream, was to chart anything that anyone had any questions on. See if anybody actually commented on the tweet. No. Yeah, guys, I know the market's a little bored right now, honestly. I mean, I know there's not a lot going on. There really isn't. That's why I kind of wanted to turn it over to you. And, if you had any projects that you wanted me to take a look at, just very happy to spend the time today just charting them out. Let me take one last look. If there's no charting questions, I'm just going to kind of independently evaluate sort of some of my watch lists and see what's going on. Arbitrum's having a nice day. OG coins, Bitcoin Cash continues to consolidate like I expected. I'm expecting a big breakout by Litecoin over the next week or two. Keep an eye on Litecoin. Never financial advice, one of those things you could enter a trade on, something I'm considering myself entering a trade on, but I'm expecting Litecoin to make a big breakout. I think some of these other OG coins, I'm expecting some big breakouts. Ethereum Classic, I increased my position. I'm expecting a breakout. Digibyte, I'm expecting that thing to fly soon. Could make a break up towards over, a cent and a half soon. Let's see what else we got here. And again, keep in mind as I'm sharing my opinions with you, these are my views. I could be dead right or dead wrong. CRV, Curve Finance, is having a nice day. What else? I know a lot of you guys have pointed me towards MNW. I'm not very familiar with that. All right, got a question coming in. Miroslav, good to see you in, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. Would you take a look at Alchemy again? Absolutely. So I hold a chunk of Alchemy Finance. Alchemy Pay. Let's take a look at it. I have a few different charts for this one. You can see them right there. Let's take a look at Alchemy Pay. Let's see what we got going on. So this one, there are some bad thunderstorms going on right now, guys. Hope I don't lose you. So this one, right now I have this on a 2-day. One of the things I had recently tweeted out, let's take a look at my tweet. Miroslav, if you're not, are you giving me a follow, Miroslav, on Twitter? Because this is actually one that I had recently tweeted out. If you kind of take a look, and I know everyone doesn't have time to actively keep track of Twitter. I get some days where I'm not as busy as others, and I have time to tweet, and other days I'm just not. I don't have as much time. This is Alchemy. This is on the 2-day. I said when crypto begins making a strong impulse to the upside this summer, I anticipate this target range to be the first major area hit. Okay, this is the chart that you can see drawn out right here, somewhere between 13 and 24 cents. We'll have to see where it ultimately lands. But right now, the big thing I'm looking at on Alchemy Pay here, Miroslav, is looks like we're in sort of a falling wedge. The other argument that you could make here is this is a bull pennant. That's sort of what I've drawn out here. So this would be your pennant. Excuse me, this would be your pole, okay? This strong movement up. And then this formation here is your pennant, which is also a falling wedge. Something that's also classic within a bull pennant structure that you want to look for, okay? Look at the volume profile. One of the things you will notice in a bull pennant is you'll see the volume pick up. You see how the volume picks up at the top of the pennant and it's steadily increasing? That's what you want to see, and then it tops off, okay? Then what happens is, look at how the volume dries out. See how the volume dries out? This, by the way, I wouldn't really classify this as a correction. More so what I would classify it is consolidation, okay? So this, to me, represents an opportunity to increase your position, Again, I always say this, and I reiterate this as much as possible. I'm not offering you or anyone else financial advice. Alchemy Pay and everything could go to zero. The entire stock market could go to zero. Okay, there's a probability literally for everything. But what I'm saying is, based on volume profile formation in the chart here, I view this a lot less as a correction and a lot more about consolidation. That's the story that's being created here based on both price action, the technical formation that's in the chart with the bull pennant, as well as the volume profile. Okay, so to me, this is looking very, very healthy. The other thing it lends credence to, I think, based on the formation here, while there is a probability, Miroslav, that this thing could drop all the way down to 1.7 cents or even all the way down here to 1.1 cents, I think based on the formation that is present here, I think there's a much less probability, a much lower probability of that occurring. Okay, it's a possibility, but I think more so what we're looking at in this chart is the idea that we could come up here to around 2.3 cents and then maybe further consolidate right in this area down towards 1.95. Looks like 1.95 cents, 1.8 cents, 1.7 cents, somewhere in here until we see a breakout. That's really what I see in the chart here, and it's looking very, very healthy. So thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Absolutely. You're welcome. Yeah, one of the things, while I have a moment here and I'm kind of seeing if there's anything else I wanted to chart out, kind of a quiet day, not seeing a lot of people in the live stream today. I know it's also Friday. I try to do these Fridays on live streams on a Friday earlier in the day. Didn't happen today. Ocean's up. Yeah, we already talked about that. Yeah, a couple things just wanted to hit you guys with real quick. For those that are tuning in syndication that aren't seeing this live, first, I did want to apologize for hopefully you appreciate the fact that I'm live streaming while I'm not in my home office, and I'm making time to do that. And the reason I'm making time to do that is because I enjoy this and I want to keep you guys updated. But I do apologize that the connection, it's not great. Got some feedback based on that the connection isn't great. So sorry if the Wi-Fi here isn't the best. Audio quality isn't as good, but I have good news. I will be back in my home office on Monday. So when I do start live streaming on Monday again for all of the charts, I will be back in my normal setup. I'm really looking forward to that. I miss the home office. I also miss my car as well. Those are the two main things I miss when I leave South Florida. And then the other thing, I mentioned this yesterday. I really just wanted to thank everyone. Like I said, no matter what what sort of plays out here over the next 6 to 12 months for me personally, in terms of me reaching my own personal financial goals, really what's going on with my YouTube channel, I view as just the beginning. This is really just the beginning of a story that I'm sort of recreating, a story that's just begun for myself in terms of where I see things going for me, both personally and professionally in the space. And I'm going to continue churning out content. And just wanted to thank you guys for helping me get to the point where I can monetize my YouTube channel. It feels nice that I have increased ownership over the idea that I've sort of beginning to create my own sort of business model. So wanted to thank you guys for that. All right, with that being said, I think I'm gonna let you guys go. I hope everyone has a great weekend wherever you are. I know it's been a quiet week in the markets. Nothing has changed since we live streamed yesterday. It looks like the S&P just kind of evaluating levels here in the NASDAQ. They're going to close perfectly just fine, as well as the Dow Jones. Again, I'm going to be very anxious here to see in these next couple weeks if July pans out like I'm anticipating. Because, again, if we're going to see some parabolic action this year, July is a key month. Just like I signaled to you, June was a big month. June came in very bullish. I was very happy with that monthly close on Bitcoin. I am really anticipating over this next week or two. Think about that. Over this next week or two, I am anticipating some really bullish price action to come into the market. So that should bring some excitement back into the space and some more viewers on the channel, which I love because I appreciate the engagement. Everybody take care of yourself. If you appreciate the content, share it with at least one person. Help grow the community. And until next time, let's spread awareness and carry the education forward. Take care, everybody.